Welcome back everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video, we will be talking about the Fireball Rocket Loon strategy. Now this strategy is extremely difficult to pull off because you have full control of your army. So your heroes, your rocket loons, everything. It might be a plus for everyone who loves having full controls of their army, but that is also the biggest weakness because it is extremely difficult to multitask. That being said, if you're able to put it off, you will have an overpowered and overkill attack each and every time. Now let's jump right into the army comp. This is the army that I'm going to use for the Fireball Rocket Loon. I'll be covering the troops, I'll be covering the spells, the siege machines, the clan castle troops and spells, the heroes, their pets, and their equipment. Let's start with the troops. I have 5 healers. Those will be with a Grand Warden because you want to do a Grand Warden charge. The longer you keep him alive, the better your attack will be and overkill. If he dies earlier on, you're pretty much doomed because he's basically the carry and the key of your attack. Now, let's talk about the Rocket Loons. The Rocket Loons are basically here to help support your hero when they're pushing, so the Grand Warden, to clear up some trash buildings or some trash defenses so that you have an easier time to send your fireball and so that you don't use too much invisibility spells. It can also help finish some buildings, some defenses for your hero dive, which we'll talk later on. Basically, you want to finish off some buildings that can cause a lot of trouble, and if you're able to snipe them off with some rocket loons, do it. We have a nice golem. This will help for your hero dive. It's going to help tank, it's going to help freeze up the area, mitigate some damage. A very useful troop for tanking. I have a Valkyrie here. This will help for clearing up any skeleton traps, mainly for your Warden because you don't want him to stall too long to kill off some skeleton. So you want to use your Valkyrie to clear them off. I have Headhunters right here. They help to clear off any defensive heroes. Pretty straightforward. I have some Minions. Minions are pretty useful for cleanup. So when you're using some Rocket Loons or your Warden charge and there's still some trash building behind, you want to use some Minions to clear them off quickly. It's mostly useful near the end because we have also some archers here that helps for the Grand Warden and also to check for any Tesla that can pop up which can affect your Flame Flinger, which we'll talk later on. We got 2 Coco Loons, we got a Baby Dragon that will help to clear off some trash buildings to help funnel your heroes or your Grand Warden once he's done with the Angry Jelly, and we have a Yeti which also helps for funnel, although for some defenses. Those are the troops that I'm going to be using. Now for the spells, I forgot to mention that I'm using a level 21 Fireball like in hard mode, so the range will be way smaller. You know, it's still a very good damage, just the range that is way smaller. I'm going to have 2 earthquakes because this is mostly what kills all the defenses and clan castle or important buildings after your fireball, but you gotta use it very quickly because let's say there's some builder huts around. They can repair the building like defense or clan castle that you use your fireball if you're not fast enough with your earthquake, because if you use your earthquake too late, those buildings will stay alive and that will suck. Your fireball value won't be there. So very important to use them before your fireball. That will be the most optimal play. If there are none builder huts around, you don't have to. It's also very risky to use the earthquake beforehand because let's say you invis the area and now you use your earthquake to the area you want to use your fireball, but you forgot about a defense on the side, or there's a defense right in front of you that is not invis. Now you have wasted even more spells. So it's better to mess up your fireball and then use your earthquake in this area than to mess up your fireball and mess up your earthquake. Let's talk about the invisibility spells. Those will work to hide some defenses so that you can retarget the fireball easily. The less you use, the better it is because you still want as much invisibility spells as possible to help your heroes, especially your Warden, to stay alive. We have a rage spell that will help give a boost for the healers in case the Grand Warden is under heavy fire, like multi-archer tower, a next bow at the same time. Maybe there's a ricochet cannon, maybe there's the town hall shots on it for some reason. You need to boost your healing output or else your Grand Warden will die. We have 2 free spells that can be helpful, let's say for a single Inferno tower. It can be useful to mitigate some damage. Very useful. Here we have a skeleton spell. It can help either your hero dive or your Grand Warden. I would recommend to use it with your Grand Warden in case there's some single Inferno, there's a geared up cannon, there's some heroes in the area. You want to relieve as much pressure for your Grand Warden as possible. That will be very helpful. But if there's none of that, well, use it with your hero dive. Now for the siege machine, I would recommend to only use a flame flinger But I understand that it could be difficult in some cases, like if there's some ground exposed around the area, that you cannot place your flame flinger correctly or mortars. It can happen. There's a lot of base like this that really cancels out the flame flinger. So you can also bring a siege machine to bring next to your hero dive to help them path inside the base. But today we'll be mostly taking our attention more on the flame flinger. Now let's talk about the clan castle troops. Since you'll be using a flame flinger or maybe a siege barrack, both of them is very good with the CC we're going to use. It's going to be 4 super minions, which is the troops that you want to have. A balloon to help scout for any traps, and a minion because you have only 2 remaining spaces left. You could use maybe 2 archers, for some reason a wall breaker. Why not? 2 goblins? Who knows? But that's what I'm using. I'm going to have a poison spell because just in case I don't destroy the CC, I'll have a backup plan. And I'll have another rage because it's always good to have another boosting of healing just in case. Now let's talk about the heroes. I have my king here with the phoenix because I want him to revive when he's in the core. That way you get much more value. You have the earthquake boots and the spiky bolt to open up the core for your queen, as well as doing as much damage as possible. For the queen, I have Frosty. This pet will help to mitigate damage by slowing down defenses. I also put the magic mirror and the action figure. That way they can deal a lot of burst damage, and you basically summon another mini hero, I guess, when you're using the giant. For the Green Warden, like we've talked earlier, you have the angry jellies because you want to clear off as much defense as possible before sending your fireball. That way you have less spells to use. I'll be using the rage gem because you gain a attack speed, which is very good because that speeds up your attack, and not only that, it boosts your damage and your healing output from your healers. And obviously the star of this attack, the fireball. Here is the RC. I'll be using the Spirit Fox as well as the Electro Boots and the Rocket Spear. You can also switch the Electro Boots for the shield, but I'd rather have the Electro Boots just in case there are any skeleton traps roaming around. That way you don't waste any Rocket Spear shots. The Spirit Fox, you can switch it out for Diggy just in case, because with the Rocket Spear, the Spirit Fox might go too forward and you just waste your Spirit Fox. So you can switch it for Diggy anytime. So that's all. That's the army, that's the heroes, that's the spell that I'm going to use. Now let's get into planning. This is how we're going to plan this attack. Your Grand Warden, you kind of want to stay away from the Town Hall. Unless if you have 3 Earthquake spells and a giant arrow, don't go for it. At least that's that's the general rule with it. Let's check about what value you can get. I can see some Fire Spitters here. I can see the Monolith right there. I can see the Poison Spell and the Scatter Shot. Generally speaking, you kind of want to get the Clan Castle because you can eliminate the pressure of the Clan Castle troops, which could be very deadly for your Grand Warden. Now, if you cannot get the Clan Castle because it's not close to any other defenses, it's quite isolated and you don't get as much value as, let's say, this area or this, then go for the best value basically. But generally, you want to see if you're able to get the Clan Castle. It will be a great value if I can get one of the builder huts right here or here. That way it's gonna touch this area completely and it's going to destroy the Monolith and the Clan Castle. Very good value. You can also shoot for the Fire Spitter, which will also hit the Clan Castle and the other Fire Spitter. But I think the better value is right here because you also eliminate those 2 builder huts. Now let's say this is the area we don't want to fireball. Let's say I want to fireball this builder hut. That way I can eliminate that area. Now we need to think about our Grand Warden pathing because you don't want him to path this area. You want to go around here. That's going to be a little bit dicey because you have a Fire Spitter spitting at you, which could be deadly for your healers. But we can deal with it. Maybe you want to path it around this area. That way you stay away as much as possible. But honestly, I think pathing this way is good because at least you have only 1 Fire Spitter shooting at you. You can use a skeleton spell to temporarily mitigate the damage. And you can also take out for yourself the Fire Spitter right here. Let's start with the Grand Warden. We want to path it this way. Okay, and our target is this builder hut right here. Now you want to eliminate all those defenses or put them invisible. So the Grand Warden with the Angry Jelly is going to target this Archer Tower. It's going to target this multi-Archer Tower. It's going to go there to that single Inferno Tower, which you gotta be careful with. So use either Skeleton Spell or a free spell. You can eliminate this wizard tower using some rocket loons. That way it's going to help with your pathing, and to accelerate the attack, can help to destroy those buildings as well if necessary, but you can also put them invisible afterwards. So your Grand Warden will walk here, destroy those buildings. You're going to destroy this with some rocket loons or maybe a Yeti. Then after, once he's done with this area, let's say he's standing right here. So I guess you can put a rage right there just to keep your Grand Warden alive. Now you want to invis this building right here. You want to invis this area right here and this fire spitter. That way your Grand Warden can only target this builder hut. And now after you place your invisibility spells, I would highly recommend to place some earthquake spells beforehand. So your 2 earthquake spell, and then after fireball. That way the builder huts around will be focused on repairing their hut first and not any other buildings. So very important, those builder huts, use the earthquake first and then after your fireball. It's way riskier, but it's worth the risk. High risk, high reward. Because if you're using your fireball first and after your earthquake and they still live, that's really bad. Now this example, the other builder hut will get destroyed, so it's not that relevant. But let's say this builder hut, this builder right here, okay, was a little bit closer and won't get targeted by the fireball. Now we can go repair it, the monolith or the clan castle, let's say, if the builder hut was right here, and you will fail your value. Because don't forget that it takes a little bit of time for the earthquake to do its maximum damage. Now that being said, earthquake first and then after fireball, that's the best play, and I think that if you're able to do that constantly, it's going to reward you in the long term. Now this part is done with the Grand Warden. Let's say this area is completely destroyed by the Grand Warden. Now you need to path your way right here. So don't be shy to clean up some buildings on the side, maybe here as well. Help your Grand Warden with some rages to keep him alive through the to the geared up cannon, and potentially this fire spitter. Now while we're talking about the Warden, we also need to multitask to where you want to put your flame flinger. It's going to be a little bit difficult because X-bows are here and right here, the ground X-bows. They're going to destroy rapidly your flame flinger, and usually you kind of want to put your flame flinger at the opposite side of the Grand Warden charge. That way both of them gets enough value. Then after your hero charge here can destroy this part here, then after your RC can come in, and then after all the rocket loom, sorry, can come and clear off building and finish the base off. But in this scenario, it's kind of difficult to do. What I would recommend is putting maybe your flame flinger in this area. Actually, you can actually put your flame flinger there, and even though the Warden you want to path this way, it's going to help a lot to mitigate a lot of damage. This area is going to clear off this building, these buildings, right here. It can also help to clear off this fire spitter. Actually, no, it's not. Don't count on it. It's pretty slow. The fire spitter is very, very slow. So count on destroying some few buildings like the multi-archer tower, the archer tower here, right there. Be careful of the mortar because it can outrange your flame flinger. So you kind of want to destroy it with some rocket loons. Now that the flame flinger is done, you also need beforehand, you need to check for any Teslas. So you can send maybe a rocket loons, you can send your archers, and you can check if there are any hidden Teslas because they will destroy quickly your flame flinger. So it's so important to check from time to time your flame flinger if there are any skeletons, traps on your flame flinger because they will also melt and destroy a lot of value for your flame flinger. Now let's say it's going to take out this area. You have this area left for your heroes. You kind of want to send your heroes that way. So hero dive. You want to send your ice golem in this section right here. Your king, your queen. If you need to clear off some buildings because you actually want them to go inside the base. If the compartment is closed, use a wall breaker to destroy the wall. This one is open, so you need to clear off some buildings, some trash buildings on the outside. So maybe a rocket loon here. Some few baby dragons may be there. It's up to you, but clear off those buildings. Let's say we clear these buildings right there. The king and the queen has no choice to enter the base. Well, actually no, they have a choice. The king, not really, but the queen can maybe walk off on the side. So maybe wall break this area as well, just in case. As long as they enter the base. You need to take out the monolith, which is quite simple. And then after, once, did I say the monolith? I mean the town hall. You need to take out the town hall. That's their very important job for them. And right here, you can send your RC to help clear off those trash buildings right there, which can take off those buildings. And once you take off this builder hut, you can send in some rocket loons right here and there. That way, it's going to take off a lot of pressure for your heroes. Now after, let's say they've destroyed all this area. Now they can walk further and destroy those buildings here. Now it's you can't really see it because I've colored pretty much really big. But this area is going to be left. You can send your remaining rocket loons there, there, there. They're all gonna pack in, they're all gonna finish off the base extremely quickly. You can be at 80% and 10 seconds left, and in 5 seconds, the base is completely gone. Okay, I might be exaggerating, but you get the point. It's extremely quick. You do some very quick cleanup. So that's how you use the fireball, basically. So it's a lot of multitasking. You have full control of your army, which can be good and can be bad because you need to watch for every details to make sure everything is good. The Grand Warden charge is the most crucial part of the attack. You need to keep him alive as long as possible. If you want, you can make him join after all his value is done. You can make him join with your hero dives, which I don't really recommend because, you know, let's say the warden's right here, destroying the fire spitter, and then after you send your heroes and your warden gets baited inside, one fire spitter is not going to get destroyed, and that can suck a lot. But other than that, that's how you do the fireball rocket loon. So you really need to find a pathing for your Grand Warden. You need to find a target that you want to have for your Grand Warden. You need to see where you want to place your flame flinger. You want to see where you want to place your hero dive and any defenses you can take out. Your RC is here to help and support your hero dive so that you can reduce a lot of damage and a lot of pressure. Your rocket loons can help there, and then after you can use your remaining rocket loons to destroy the remaining part of the base, which is going to be very quick. This attack is definitely one of the hardest strategy to use, but it is one of the most rewarding, especially because if you haven't seen the sneak peek, the balloon will receive a new level, which means the rocket loon will be buffed, and that is very, very good for this attack. It's already very strong. Now it's just going to be stronger. So it's a really, really good time to learn the fireball rocket loon strategy right now, so that in your next Clan War League, you can show your friends and clanmates that you are the GOAT at attacking and destroying the base with some overkill strat. Now, let's get into some example. So my main target would generally be the Clan Castle troop, but because it's so isolated from the rest of the defenses, as you can see, very, very far away from other defenses, you won't get as much value as possible. So I would opt for maybe a poison spell or maybe one of the builder huts. That way you eliminate those very important buildings, and then after you can face behind the fire spitter, which you can destroy very easily. So those are the equipments that I use. They're basically, except for the magic mirror, they're basically all capped to what would harm mode be, and the fireball as well. So yeah, if your fireball is level 27, you'll have such an easier time to destroy those buildings, and just going to be a bigger range. You can use earthquake in a wider range, but this tutorial is going to be, this guy is going to be about the level 21 fireball, so a much smaller range. It still does the job, and it's still very overkill. So let's jump right into the replay. So I sent a Coco Link to protect for any traps, if there were any. What did I do here? Alright, so I wanted to send my flame flamer in this area. So there was a mortar right here, so I destroyed it with 3 rocket loons, and I used a Yeti to destroy the multi-mortar. And then after I can send the flame flamer. As you can see, I also tested for any traps, for any Teslas, and as you can see, one has popped. So that's very crucial to do. While waiting for, I keep a keen eye on the warden. So no more tunnel visioning. You don't have to check only this area. Use your thumb, scroll back, and check for the warden as well. You need to be at the guard. You need to see if everything is going well. So now the flamethrower is going to be sent here. It's going to deal with those defenses, and you'll get some good value. Now I wanted to opt for the builder hut like I said in the beginning, and that's the best target, so it's very close. I could have, to be safe, put an invisible spell on top of this this geared up cannon, but this defense was way close, so I didn't really need to take the risk. Now, because the builder hut right here is far enough so that it doesn't get hit by the fireball, you need to put your earthquake first, and then after the fireball, so that you get as much damage as possible, because like we talked earlier, the earthquake will take a while until it gets its damage, so put them first, it's gonna do their damage first, then after, your fireball is going to finish them, and then after, the remaining earthquake damage will completely destroy the building. As you can see, I've put my 2 earthquake spell at the beginning, and I didn't have to worry about this builder hut repairing the building. Now I put a skeleton spell because I thought the Grand Warden will walk this way, but it decided to go down. So I was a little bit surprised, but no worries, it's still good. My Grand Warden is still alive, and I can maybe start my hero dive inside this base. I'm clearing out some trash building with the baby dragon. Very useful, very good funnel. Very simple funnel. Ice golem, then after I'm going to set my king and my queen behind. I had to invis here because he was under a lot of damage. My flame finger is still doing great. Still keeping an eye on it. If any skeleton trap spawn, yeah, that's pretty good. So as you can see, the Flame Flinger is doing its job, the Grand Warden charge is doing its job, and the Hero Dive is doing their job. It's very good. That's what you want in an attack normally. RC Charge comes in, it's going to help and relieve some pressure for your Hero Dive, so your King and Queen. And I sent some few Rocket Loons to help destroy the Multi-Inferno Tower. To help, I used an invisibility spell to help and take down and secure the town hall. And look at that, I still have 10 rocket loons. And look at the base. After the town hall, there's not much defenses left. The Grand Warden is able to destroy those buildings. Well, I guess you still need a rage, but look at that! Look at that! Still 1 free spell. Still 2 rage spells. Poison spell for the CC, obviously, just in case. Luckily for us, we didn't have to use any CC, poison spell because there weren't any Cleanside Castle troop. But it's going to be very useful. Let's say the CC starts to attack those Hero Dive. Well, you can just send a poison spell. Like we talked earlier, it's not that scary to deal as long as you have a poison spell. Look at that. My RC has cleared up this area. Going down here. Help's going to do a funnel and pathing for your queen. Well, she doesn't really need because there's some walls and she can't really reach furthermore than those buildings here. Now she's just gonna be stuck destroying this. But you still have your Flame Flinger with your 4 super minions, which will help destroy those buildings as well. You still have 10 Rocket Loons, which will help destroy those buildings as well. Guys, it's overkill. It's literal overkill. I didn't have to use a single rage spell for my warden. Imagine that. Okay, well now I did, but you know, I was under a lot of fire. But other than that, I was good. You know, I've played this attack so well that it's basically overkill. And once you played it that well, it's always going to be overkill. That's the attack. Very, very, very overpowered. Very strong. And next update, there's going to be a new level for your Rocket Loons, which means it's going to be even stronger. It is a great opportunity to learn this attack. Yes, it is extremely hard. On a scale of 10, I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 in terms of difficulty. I still believe there are other strategies that are extremely difficult, more difficult than the Rocket Loons, like the Super Barbarian Fireball, which I can do a guide later on in the near future. But focus on the Rocket Loons. It is an extremely difficult attack because you need to focus on everything around, but it is very worth it once you learn it. So play it, practice your fireball, practice your invisibility spell. You're going to fail at the beginning, it is a guarantee. But the more you practice, the better value you're going to get. Don't get frustrated because at the beginning, you might not get all the value and you will fail. It is a very difficult attack, don't forget that, but it is extremely rewarding. As you can see, it was basically overkill. In the end, This attack is extremely powerful. I think it's a very good idea to learn this attack so that, let's say in a war and you see a lot of value or very closed up defenses or clan castle, you can use this attack to get an to get a triple very efficiently. It is one of the best attack in the game, extremely strong. It is extremely difficult, but it is extremely rewarding. It is high risk, high reward. I wouldn't recommend to use it in Clan War League or in any types of war at the beginning. I think you need to give it a few weeks, maybe months even, but you will see the value of it. You will see it increase. You'll see that it's going to be all worth it. So yeah, that was the guide. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. And don't forget to practice if you want to make this army successful. It is extremely worth it, but it takes a lot of time, so you need a lot of dedication. Next guide, I'll probably be covering the Kill Squad, Super Yeti, or the Fireball Thrower attack. Both of them are extremely powerful. We'll see.